But cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. This is awesome.
Welcome, Claude.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Peak Show, which is my aptly named, my new name for my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Claude Swain, you're a new friend of mine this past year. I know for a fact that we'll be talking about your TEDx event coming up on Sunday. Today is Tuesday, so it's just a few days away.
Yes.
Looking to buy my ticket tonight or tomorrow morning. I saw the link come through.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great.
looking forward to it. But we met through the Chamber of Commerce in Atascadero. We're both on the board. And then we went golfing, and we kept talking, and now we're good friends,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So I wanted to have you over and just chat about kind of what you're looking to do with your TED Talk. If you want to talk a little bit about, your background coming to the area. Most interested just to see where you want to go with this, because I know that you've got a great story, and every time we talk, you're a good storyteller too.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't mean to toot your own horn too much, but
No. It's nothing like that. No. First of all, thank you very much for having me on, inviting me, and I guess though, firstly, thank you for being a friend.
yeah,
That means a lot to a person like myself who has done a lot of traveling.
yeah,
And has been all over the world.
Yeah.
In not the best ways.
Yeah.
We'll say that. But yeah, the TED Talk that we have coming up, I'm really excited about it. I could go through all the metrics of it about being 11 different speakers and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But do you hear that?
yeah.
I didn't know what that was weird. I was like,
That's
okay.
a little behind the scenes.
Okay,
We
well-
got the smart speaker in the background. She's trying to order me some lasagna.
Okay, I didn't know if like something happened there. That's fine.
Alexa.
Yeah. The AI is upon us.
Yeah. That's how you know this is live.
Exactly.
Well, not live, but yeah.
Of course, during the taping. Well, I could go through all the metrics, the list of all the great, amazing speakers and all that stuff, but I prefer to kind of push people to the packslow.org website.
Yeah.
With the events page, that'll tell you exactly who's there.
Right.
I know I feel privileged and honored to be part of that group. And I feel even more privileged to have my band playing right after I speak. The pronunciation is Swain, which is Swain, but it looks like 7. So we'll just call the band 7.
It looks like the number 7, or
It kind of like
yeah.
spelling. The spelling
Oh.
kind of looks like. It's a Nordic derivation or original origin for my last name, which is Swain, S-W-A-I-N. But Swain, if you spell it phonetically, it's S-V-Y-E-N.
Okay.
So if you put it all in capital letters, which we did, well, I did,
Yeah.
it looks like 7. So just whatever. It's one of those things. Who cares?
I like that. No.
It's just a weird thing. We had actually a really cool name.
Yeah.
They called it because we're Batman fans. And
Yeah.
the actual name of the group is Bruce Swain.
Bruce Swain.
Bruce Swain.
Bruce Wayne.
Swain. Bruce
Swain.
Swain. Yeah. So we were crying, laughing about it, but
It's kind of like a play on words, like the Peak Show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's honestly, along with sharing the story itself, my background, the music that came out of that in my journey is the thing that I am most proud of. And it's one of those things where I don't really give two shits, excuse my language, but I really don't have much awareness or care about.
Don't worry, I'm not monetized on YouTube.
Right now. But so I don't really have much in the way of trepidation about people liking or disliking the music at all.
Good.
It's really just more about the process
For sure.
of coming out of where I came from, and I'll explain. So when you met me, it was really at the beginning of a beautiful ascension, a peaking into what I feel like I've always needed to be or wanted to be.
Right.
Because where I came from in the sense of personally, the journeys that we all walk through and the journey I've personally walked through has been very, very dark.
Yeah.
That's the case for most people.
Yeah.
I'm sure you in your life, you've had moments in which, hey, you know what? I'm not sure if I really want to do this anymore.
Who am I?
Yes, who am I? What am I going to do? Why am I even here? The classic questions that plague us all as being humans.
Or like for me, it's like the imposter syndrome. Always thinking that I don't belong with what I'm doing. Or like you don't deserve what you're getting.
Now that's fascinating to me because this is not like blowing air up your skirt, but I find you to be a really fascinating, interesting, and engaging person.
Yeah,
and so
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I've
it does.
worked on myself for many years. For about 7 years, I've really been on like a forward trajectory. So it's different. I'm not going to get into my story, but it's like, it's definitely been, you reach a certain age and either you went through some stuff and you have to get through it and then you push through and you either propel or you just stay plateaued, or maybe you just, you just stay in the mire for your whole life and that's just the way it is. But like you, I came out of something and now I'm kind of like 7 years away from coming out of it. And so I've taken a lot of work to feel comfortable in my own skin.
Well, that gives me great hope because that's exactly what this TEDx event is honestly about.
Yeah.
When our, I guess you would say the president and the CEO of the organization that holds the license, and forgive me if I don't recall the name because it's, I'm just like that. I forget those types of things. Prince Williams, he is the head athletic trainer for the football department for CalPoly.
Oh, cool.
Right, and so despite the fact that they have, they're having their issues and struggles like now, like every program does, he decided to get this license and hold a TEDx event, and the theme of it is determination. And so much like in your story, you're 7 years in, I'm basically about 3 years into my journey from that rock bottom.
Where you're like...
Yeah, where I had to. Like it was
pop out of it.
Yeah, because it was one of those things where, I guess it's not one of those things, but it's, the truth of it was that I bottomed out pursuing what I loved the most.
Yeah.
But I did it in a manner that was unhealthy. Being an artist, being a musician, I'd come out of telecom. I thought I was trying to do one particular thing as far as artistic expression, but it was coming from a place of really bad pain.
Right.
Because I had come back from the wars, PTSD, all those things, everything that every veteran goes through. And so for me at the time, even though I felt like I was ascending artistically, I really actually was running in place and starting to create a spiral for myself to go deeper down. The person who saved me from that obstinately was Holly Lawson. She became my partner. And when I met her, so I met her on Tinder, of all places, on Valentine's Day. After I wrote this song on a piano that was honestly about bottoming out.
Yeah.
And it really affected me as far as the writer's concerned.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we met and we talked, and it's not, I don't know how to qualify the whole Tinder experience.
Yeah.
But it was just that one time because the thing was, I was actually closing my account down. Like I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Why am I spending so much time with this? Like, it's scrolling and whatever, all that. Anyway, somehow we connected and she told me she had cancer. And so I remember it vividly. I was in our studio and I was down on my luck, but there was something about her. I just wanted to get her know her better, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity for loving someone finally. That was pure and genuine. She was and continues to be one of the most genuine and pure souls I've ever met in my entire life, hands down.
Right.
Like hands down.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about like what, and I hate to throw this in there, but Christianity and what it means to be a Christian for real, I can't find many more people who would be a better example than she was.
Okay.
And so growing up in a Christian family myself, that resonated with me in a level that was much deeper. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't have my struggles going through it.
Right.
Because she was walking through cervical cancer.
Right.
And unfortunately, she did not survive despite our best efforts. And that ripped me apart. It was 5 years of trying to find a way to help save her.
Right.
But it taught me a lot about myself and what love meant. And the culmination of all that, I suppose, was in COVID. And I was by myself with my dog, Luna, who was her dog originally, who also was fighting cancer. And so it was just Luna and I, like diddy bopping around the United States. Like seriously, like we went up to the Rocky Mountains.
This is just traveling.
Just traveling, just getting in my car, and I blew all of my severance and all that I did. I blew it all because I was just trying to figure out who I was, what I was doing, and nothing was making sense. And of course, as we're all wont to do, we hang out with the wrong people.
Right.
And it's not that those people are bad, but sometimes you get drawn into situations you weren't prepared for, and I wasn't prepared for that. Having said that, there was also a great friend of mine, Ben Shear, who continues to be one of my best friends, who helped pull me out of these things. And so the night of the wreck, where I literally got T-boned by a semi-truck. A FedEx semi-truck T-boned me. And there's no joke, man. It was literally like a goddamn Jason Bourne movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. And this is why it was crazy. So, as you know, you may not know, I was in the Iraqi Wars.
Yeah.
In the Marine Corps, and I was part of that time period around 2003,
Right.
where the invasions were happening, and that was a lot of heaviest fighting was there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into all that,
Yeah.
what my roles were,
Right.
which were, I'll just say minimum. Let's just say that, minimum. But at the same time, it puts you in a different space, and you see things differently.
Right.
I will never forget, I was watching, when I spun out in the lane, what do you call it, the lane? The HOV lane, the HOV lane.
Oh, the carpool lane.
Yeah, the carpool lane, the HOV carpool lane. And in Texas, on the highways, it's cordoned off on each side, so it's
Right.
got barriers. And
Yeah.
it's like one of those old racetracks, right? So here I am out in the middle of an ice storm trying to go help a friend, really for no good reason, honestly, not to be out in that type of danger.
Yeah.
And it was just Luna and I, driving across, and we were in this, the Lexus version of the Land Cruiser, right?
Yeah.
So substantial car,
Yeah.
four-wheel drive. I'm from the country.
And heavy axles.
Yeah, heavy. Like I feel like I can handle it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I wasn't able to.
Right.
So we spun out, and this tractor trailer that was behind me, I remember passing it because there's a facility that was off between Fort Worth. I think it was technically in Arlington, but it was off the highway. You always see it, and there would always be these trucks that would always come on the on ramps and stuff
Right.
like that. So that one particular fateful night, I hit some black ice and spun out, and so I was cursing to myself. I'm like, dang it! Now how am I gonna get out of this? Because now I got to turn around, blah blah blah. All that stuff, just
Yeah.
the minimal things. I really didn't screw up my car all that much. It was just more just like I spun out, right?
Yeah.
Well, funny thing happened on the way to Forum.
Yeah.
I looked up, and I kid you not, I saw the tractor trailer.
Yeah.
And this is where all the training for the Marine Corps hit in.
Yeah.
And my love of astronomy and physics and all that stuff and dealing with vectors, because, I used to be a pool player, and I used to
Yeah.
like, tennis, like, and golf, right? We
Right.
think about angles. We see
Yeah.
things at angles, right? So I remember looking at it, and I was thinking to myself, holy fucking shit. This thing is going to slam us. Like, he's not going to be able to stop. I
Yeah.
knew that. He's not going to be able to stop. And I remember thinking clearly, if he jackknives, I might have a chance.
Right.
I actually thought this because I was like thinking, if I can just find a way to survive this and he hits my engine block and not really broadside me,
Yeah.
I might can make it.
Right.
And I just remember thinking to myself, and my now wife, she says I cannot use this as the title for the TED Talk, but the TED Talk is actually titled, I'm Not Fucking Dying Tonight.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm not fucking dying tonight. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens. I'm living.
Yeah.
Luna's living, and we're going to walk away from this. So I'm not going to say it was like force of will.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's providence. It could just been dumb luck. However you want to categorize it, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He came in, I saw him jackknife, and I saw him jackknife slightly to, well, I was looking, it would be to my left, to his right. And I saw him sliding.
Right.
And I saw the speed decreasing because, friction. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I might actually be able to do this. And I swear to God, this is all I did was I looked in the back. I was like, Luna, it's going to be okay. I'm almost getting a little emotional because
Yeah.
it was tough. And I curled up into a ball.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
That's what else you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Curled up into a ball, and then boom, hit us just like that. And I saw the cab flip over my hood and the trailer go over my roof. Saw that. Like literally saw it because the airbag didn't knock me out because I could take a punch. I don't have
Yeah.
a glass jaw. So I saw it go over. We spun around a couple times because, just the impact and the spin us around. And I swear to God, that thing slid about 200, 300 yards. The only thing that didn't happen was it didn't explode. It was just like a freaking movie. I swear to God. So now I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I got to get out of the car because I don't know like what's going to happen.
Did you open the door?
No, I had to crawl up through the passenger side. So I crawled up through the passenger side because the other side was completely smashed in. And I looked down and I could see like all the damage. It was crazy, but I survived it because he clipped the engine block.
Yeah.
He didn't hit me broadside. So I climbed out looking for my phone, but couldn't find my phone. And this is where Amanda comes in, my beautiful wife now.
Yeah.
Amanda I had met in Fresno Airport bar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a crazy story. I was a drunk bastard, and I was about to beat up the bartender because I was dumb and ridiculous. And I saw her, and I remember seeing her come up the escalator, and I stopped in my tracks, and I knew I was instantly in love with her. I swear to, now, if you told me at the time, I would tell you kick rocks, but that's true.
Yeah.
So how does she play into that? I was supposed to call her that very night, and as typical Claude way, I'm not going to give up on the things that matter to my family.
Yeah.
I'd already lost Holly, and I don't know. I just had to call her.
Yeah.
So I didn't have anything, and so I got Luna and I out of the car, and ice was coming down. It was crazy. Ice was coming down, and this guy was coming from the other lane. Thank God I was in the HOV lane, that lane, right? You know,
Right.
Because this car came, and I swear to you, he hit the retaining wall right next to me. It's a miracle we didn't get hit by shrapnel or anything. But I could see the guy's face as he was coming to me. He couldn't stop, and he hit, and it was just like being back in the war. Like, and that's the thing that was crazy about it, man. I was like this. It was no shaking.
Yeah.
It was no shaking, like whatsoever. And that was what scared me later on. But in the moment, I remember I got Luna out because I wasn't sure what the disposition of the car was. Was it going to catch fire? You know, you don't want me in that situation.
Right.
Cars were going all around us. There was all kinds of shit going on. And I said, well, I reached and got my bag because I had a bag in there and I just happened to have my iPad in the bag. And so I picked it up and I was like, I guess let me see if it's connected to my phone.
Right.
Like maybe my phone, I just can't see it, but maybe it's in there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was. And so I FaceTimed her. The miracle of technology. And I remember the phone ringing. I was like, this is stupid. This is stupid. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, hun. That's what she was happy. Like she thought I was just calling her early. And I don't know what she saw, but I was like, hey, this is going to sound crazy, but I love you. I was in a really, really bad accident. I said, I'm okay. Luna's okay. My car is destroyed. I will call you as soon as I find someplace safe to get.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
That was where it all bottomed out. But that's where I decided I'm not living like this anymore.
Yeah.
It took so much because I won't make any disparaging remarks about any first responders anywhere. But I'll say that night, that guy treated me like a non-human.
Yeah.
He treated, and I will try to give him some credit in the sense that there was so much chaos going around. He probably just saw me as some drunk fool, and he didn't care.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff was happening. But the treatment I got, I didn't get to see an ambulance. He told me that the FedEx driver had died. I'd killed somebody. And you got to understand, like living in Texas, that is not good.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff that he was saying, like I was like actually scared. Like, okay, it wasn't even about me, but who's going to take care of Luna?
Yeah.
Because she needs special care.
Yeah.
And so the funny part about this whole thing, though, within that moment anyway, so ice is coming down. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like if people are giving us blankets to try to keep us from, because he wouldn't take us to the ambulance. So he was trying to give it, so other people were giving us blankets, and I felt like a fucking refugee.
Yeah.
I'm an American citizen. I'm a veteran. I feel like a refugee in that moment. So this FedEx guy comes up next to me. And you know, sometimes they have tandem drivers.
Right.
And so he walks up next to me, and he's looking at the wreckage. I'm looking at the wreckage. And I go, hey, did the driver survive? He's like, yeah, I'm the driver. He said, did that driver survive? I'm like, I'm the driver. And we both like had this like big sigh of relief. And he's like, man, I thought I killed you. And I was like, I thought I killed you. Like literally, that's the conversation we had. And we were so both stunned about everything. So fast forward, and there's a huge long story about this cop, as he were, dropping me off like at a gas station that was farther from home than I needed to be.
Right.
But that made sense because of just the way the traffic, because it was a horrible night. people were dying everywhere.
Yeah.
So again, I try to give some people some grace and all that.
It was a massive ice storm.
Yeah, it was a massive ice storm.
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
What does an ice storm feel like? It's not like hail.
It is, but not. Yeah, because hail is a little bit different. It's obviously because it's bigger pieces, but ice storms are a lot like mini hail, right? And so growing up in Virginia, I'm used to ice storms.
Yeah.
But it usually is followed by snow or preceded by snow. And so we also have mechanisms in place to take care of it, whether it's salt or plows or blah, blah.
Yeah,
But this is Texas. They're not used to that.
Yeah.
That's why I was so desperate.
Was this January, like when all the plants were freezing over and everything?
Oh, yeah. It was all that stuff.
So it was because it was like we had like major like material shortages around the country because all the chemical plants were freezing over?
Yeah, there was all that stuff.
That's what was going on?
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when all that crap was happening. That's exactly when it happened. About
2021.
Yeah, that's about
January.
100 cars got blown up, and I think a dozen or more people died in that whole thing. Well, I was part of that.
Yeah, okay.
That's where all that happened. And that was when I decided to kind of stand up on my own. Well, I've been standing up on my own, but making a choice to change everything.
Right.
And so that little red card that you see me in now, I got that off a song and a dance and, kind of thing. And I'm serious, like the last little bit of money I had left over from the Marine Corps, and then because the treatments and stuff that Holly went through just wiped us out.
Yeah.
I got to see firsthand, even with platinum insurance.
Yeah.
That didn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It just wiped us out. So I was literally at the bottom of it.
Right.
And I took a chance and I came out to visit Amanda, not sure if we would actually get together.
Yeah.
But I remember looking at Luna when I finished putting my guitar that you'll see on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
That same guitar.
Yeah.
I put that last thing in the car and I got Luna in there and I looked over at Luna and I said, we're never coming back to fucking Texas. I don't care what it is. It's like, we're just not coming back. And it's not saying that Texas is bad or anything, but it's just for me.
Closing the book.
Yeah, you had to close that channel. Yeah. And so that's why I'm in this moment as we're talking and like knowing that you've walked through things and everyone's walked through things, it means something to have people that you can look to and say, hey, you know what? You inspire me because you do.
Yeah.
I was telling Drew just earlier today, like how cool you are. And like, we were talking about tables at the gala. And we were like, yeah, but Seth already invited me, but we already have to sit. And we were laughing. It's like, yes, that's going to be there. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. And so,
I was trying to invite like everybody I knew in town. And I was like, hey, and everybody it was like, I have a table. I already have a seat. I already have a table. I'm like, well, okay. We'll see you all there.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what makes our board so beautiful in a lot of ways. And I'm not diminishing anything I just said. Because what I said was just incredibly, it's deep for me. And I'm trying to make sure I check my emotions so I don't start breaking down. But that's why the music is so special.
Yeah. Well, we don't, like the saying, one of the sayings I use is, we don't regret the past and we don't close the door on it, but we live in the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to just live in the moment, even though you had a past that was like, or something happened in your past, no matter what. It could be small. It could be an argument you had yesterday. Mm-hmm. You learn from it. Everything from small to huge doesn't mean that we have to like wash it out or like erase it from our memory or like suppress it. It's just, kind of have to just learn from it and move forward,
That's an important point.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that's what I was trying to do when I first got back from the war.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to erase that trauma in any way that I thought, that I could, and it was just, I'll say this, I wish I had picked up a golf club.
Yeah.
During that time because it would have been so therapeutic and I was all over the country. I imagine how many different courses I could have played.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's like it would have been a dream.
Yeah.
This golf clubs and my guitar in the back and like hanging out and doing
Sport to me is like, it can be very therapeutic, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. I used to surf a lot and I haven't so much in the past year or so. I still go out and everything, but like going to the gym, golfing, like it's like a reset,
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely the easiest, like freest way to like calm the mind. Obviously there's a lot of other things that some people have to go through in terms of therapy and whatever, but just in terms of like free medicine, get outside and do something fun,
Yeah. So tell me this, because this is a habit I have when I play golf. I typically like to do it by myself.
Yeah.
As a single.
Yeah.
And I carry my bag. and I just walk the course, and I take my time with each, and I'm actually very quiet.
Yeah.
Like when I play in a group, of course, like you try to be part of it, but actually, like how I enjoy playing, it's just being on the course and being in nature and just trying to figure it out, like almost like surveying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So
I agree with you. I mean, I like playing with people because I'm a social person. But and if some people might say, well, it's a cop out. Like I play better by myself. Like sure you do.
Everybody says that. Yeah.
Let me film every shot. But no, I like for instance on Easter, I went like late morning. It was like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
I went to Chalk Mountain. I played 9 holes. There was hardly anybody there. I played 9 holes in like an hour and a half. Yeah. And I was intentional with every shot.
Yes.
And I was very clean with a lot of different shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I just listened to, I think I was listening to a book on tape. On tape.
Yeah.
You know, a book
tape.
on Audible.
Audible.
And that's what I like to do, podcast or book on an audiobook. And I agree. I do definitely agree with you there. I enjoy it a lot, but there's also the social aspect of wanting to go golfing and, you know, it's just a matter of like
where you're at that moment.
But I do think I shoot better when I'm by myself.
Oh, I know I do. I absolutely
and it's
do.
mostly because of the banter.
Yeah.
You know, the banter kind of gets a little bit, you know, a little bit crap talking with each other and like we're making jokes and like being boastful or whatever. It's fun, especially if you're playing with like guys that like that kind of behavior. But it's like I've golfed also with serious guys before. And you go and you play and there's very little talking and I shoot better. So I think it just has to do with like not focusing.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree. I think you probably too. We have like kind of squirrel mind.
I can be at times, and so I like to be able to just say, hey, okay, the best shot I ever had was a up and down on one, right? Like a Black Lake on the 9th hole. I forget. I think it's on the one of the courses. I should know it, but I forget. And it was up and down. I overshot the green. One of those things.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, pull my 60 out, and I'm like, because I always thought that 60 was like the magic club outside of putter. Like, okay, everyone tries to use it, but no one can.
Yeah, like a 3-wood.
Yeah, just like a 3-wood, just like my 3-wood shot. Anyway, I looked at the hole and I just kind of felt it. I didn't really I knew what it looked like. I've played it enough. I know what the green looks like.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of focused in on the actual shot itself.
Yeah.
And I hold it out. And that was like probably one of the best shots ever in my entire life. You know, every golfer has one.
So was that an eagle or a birdie?
It was a birdie because it would have been an eagle if I had gotten it up there on my approach shot. Yeah, and I overshot the green.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a par. I think it's.
I've never played eagle or black. I've never played there.
You haven't?
You know, I've been only a golfer for a year. I got my first lessons in last May.
Okay.
So my wife and I got 8 golf lessons with Mike Brabenek, MB Golf Academy, shout out. and we got for our anniversary. So we did couples golf lessons, and so then we bought a set. And Mike, we just told him, hey, you're the pro. You know, fit me out, buy me some clubs, and tell me the link to buy. And he sent me the link, buy these ones. Yeah, so I bought some irons, and I bought a driver and a putter from Andrew here in town, and just from a buddy, And he gave me like a used bag, and that's how I started. So I've been playing only for a year, but I'm obsessed when I get to doing something. Right?
Well, you're a natural athlete too.
I can be, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've watched. So yeah, you're a natural athlete. Yeah. So that's a plus.
But it's super fun. We can talk about golf all day, but I think we should round this out with I'm excited to come to the TEDx on this Sunday.
Thank you.
I know that it's like it's an interesting thing. I kind of want to briefly just touch base on how you got involved with asked to do this, and then maybe the details of what people can expect when they come.
Sure. Yeah. Speakers. It was how we got asked to do this. Like I told you before, Prince Williams. He's one of our neighbors, and he literally just stopped us as we were walking back to our place, and he asked Amanda. He says, "Amanda, you're a planner, right? Because she's a wedding planner, very successful one,
right.
And all that type of stuff. Very good, best in the region, I think." Yeah. And she's like, yeah. And he goes, hey, would you help me organize a TEDx event? And of course, the answer is yes. That's the answer is yes. And that's how we actually got involved.
Okay.
How I ended up being a speaker, purely by accident, like most things in my life.
Yeah.
Of course, Prince and I had this conversation. He said, no, he's like, you definitely should have been like from the get-go. But I have a vision of TEDx being a platform for us to bring attention and awareness to this region.
Yeah.
I have a vision for it being the harbinger of our own kind of South by Southwest. Because I'm on the FPAC board, the Foundation for the Performing Arts Center.
Right.
So we have anniversary stuff coming up and blah, blah, blah. And so that's kind of where this whole idea started.
Sure.
And so anyway, we were interviewing different speakers and trying to vet them out. And I was expressing my enthusiasm for all this and kind of share a little bit of the backstory. And that's when Prince and others was like, you need to speak. And I mulled it over for about 3 weeks because I was like, I don't know, man. It's like, no one's going to want to listen to my crap.
Yeah.
And I just decided, you know what? Screw it. I'll just do it. Why not? Like, what's the worst going to happen? What's the worst going to happen?
Yeah.
So that's how I got into the
You're
group.
not going to get the role in the movie or what?
Yeah, I was like, whatever. It's like, we'll figure it out. But that's what's been really cool about it because we've been able to attract the attention of some veteran speakers and also first time or, in various experience levels. And everyone's bringing their story and trying to share their philosophies and how they've overcome their own obstacles. And so that's what's really amazing about it. So when we kick off, the doors open at 11:30 on Sunday at the Performing Arts Center on CalPoly campus. It'll kick off around noon.
Yeah.
And it'll go all the way through about 30 hours, late afternoon, early evening, around 5, 6 o'clock.
Sure.
We'll have concessions will be available. There's still VIP tickets that are available too.
I saw that.
We have a meet and greet on Saturday.
In Avila.
Yes, in Avila Lighthouse.
Nice venue.
Yeah. So it may be a little cold, but we'll pull it inside. But we'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
For anybody else that's interested in doing that.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to meet the speakers one-on-one, and just free food and drinks and that type of stuff. But it's really it's supposed to be for an educational purpose.
Sure.
And it's been one of the coolest things about this whole experience, I kid you not, is the support of you and other board members.
Right.
And the city of Atascadero and just the region in general, as far as just being supportive, not necessarily like in every way as possible, but in the ways that matter the most by actually showing an intentional desire to want to help in any way they possibly can. And that speaks volumes to what we're trying to accomplish on the board, right?
Right.
And we're trying to use it as a vehicle. I want to use the vehicle for economic development,
right?
To bring young minds in to our organization and to our area, and want them to really have the same joy that you and I both talked about when we first moved into this area.
Yeah.
You coming up from San Diego, which I know very well too from my time at the Corps.
Yeah.
And then me coming back, and like we said, I thought Solana Beach was the bee's knees, right? Like I thought of Solana Beach, and there's no disrespect to Solana Beach, but then I moved here, and I'm like, holy, this is cool.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah. So
I like that, and I certainly resonate with the aspect of using this kind of platform as maybe not the end all be all, TEDx being the thing, but just being like kind of like the catalyst to kind of start something, start some sort of conversation and see what can happen. There's a lot of, I always say around here economically, you either start your own business or you have a quasi, not a white collar, but like you're in insurance, so you can work for a firm anywhere you go, but you can't necessarily move here and thrive if you're just a straight blue collar, like you pound a nail, you have to kind of figure out your way here. It's definitely an area that it's heavy with CalPoly. You got PG&E, you have the prison system, you have like different bigger in the wine industry, but everyone in between is sort of self-made. Right. And that's how you do it around here. And so a lot of young people, especially when they graduate high school and college around here, they leave to go find a career somewhere else. Yeah, that's true. And a lot of them end up coming back after they spend a decade trying to find their career. I know a lot of people, they move back to this area too. But I'm really interested to come to your talk. I mean, obviously I'll not just see you, I'll see who else is speaking and whatnot. So it's at noon to about 6 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah. And then that's tickets. I'll put a link down below. Yeah. And there's also there'll be an option for the VIP, and there's 100 tickets available for that. And I think that's going to be an awesome event as well. But I'm just really stoked to see how it all goes. And you become a really good friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to supporting you and see who else is out there doing the there's got to be other people that are as interesting as you too.
Well,
you
I'm
know?
sitting right next to one because honestly, and this again, you have been an inspiration to me, man. You really have. Your enthusiasm when I first joined the board, your interest in actually this region. I mean, hell, man, I used to pass Atascadero coming back from the Bay Area just from client meetings, and I never even stopped. Like, it's like I didn't even know where the In and Out were. I didn't even know where the In and Out was, and I love In and Out. And I'm like, there's an In and Out here.
You'll never know. You'll never know like how unknown the area is when Siri doesn't even know how to spell it.
That's true. That's very true.
And sorry, she's probably waking up right now.
Yeah,
but when you say the word to your phone and it still spells it wrong, you're like, I've been saying it for 12 years. Smart?
Smart or not? I don't know. It's like AI, but I think it.
Yeah, this place is really awesome, rich with history, and there's it's great to have another awesome person join.
Thank you, sir.
Join the area.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Till next time.